Hello, everyone, and welcome to Native English Academy. I'm Amy, and I'm here with my co-host, Jim. Today, we're going to talk about something we all deal with every single day, getting around the city. We both live in San Francisco, but we have completely different ways of traveling around town.
That's absolutely right, Amy. You're a car person. You drive everywhere. And me? Well, I don't even own a car.
It's so true. I've been driving for about 6 years now, and I just love the freedom it gives me. I can go anywhere, anytime, without having to wait for buses or trains or check schedules.
That does sound convenient.
But Jim, you seem to get around just fine without a car. How do you usually travel in the city?
Well, I use Muni most of the time. For our listeners who don't know, Muni is San Francisco's public transportation system. Buses, light rail trains, even the cable cars. I have a monthly pass that costs about $85, and I can ride anywhere in the city.
$85? That's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And when I need to travel to other cities around the Bay Area, like Oakland or Berkeley, I take BART. That's our regional train system. It connects all the major cities around San Francisco Bay.
Oh, I know BART well. Sometimes I actually drive to a BART station and park there, then take the train downtown. It's easier than dealing with traffic and trying to find parking in the city.
Right. That's smart.
But tell me honestly, Jim, doesn't it take forever to get places using public transportation?
Sometimes it does, yeah. Like if I want to go from my neighborhood in the Mission District to Ocean Beach, it can take me about 50 minutes on the bus. You have to transfer between different routes, and sometimes you wait 10 or 15 minutes for the next bus to arrive.
50 minutes? Wow, I could drive there in maybe 20 minutes. Well, assuming there's no traffic.
But here's my question for you. Can you always find parking at the beach?
Oh, that is such a good point. Parking is honestly the absolute worst part about having a car in San Francisco. Sometimes I spend 20 or 30 minutes just driving around in circles looking for a parking spot. And with all these steep hills, it's even more challenging. I'm always worried about my car rolling backward.
Yeah, those hills are incredibly steep.
I remember this one time I parked on a really steep street up in Russian Hill, and I was so nervous about my car sliding down the hill. I had to carefully turn my wheels toward the curb and make sure my parking brake was on tight. It's like this whole procedure you have to learn.
Wow, that sounds stressful. That's definitely one thing I don't have to worry about on the bus. Plus, I can read books or listen to podcasts while I travel. I actually really enjoy my commute most days. It's like built-in relaxation time.
That does sound really relaxing. When I'm driving, I have to concentrate on the road the whole time, especially in heavy downtown traffic, and those old cable car tracks can be so slippery when it rains.
Right, exactly. And what about the cost? I imagine gas and parking fees add up pretty quickly.
Oh my goodness, yes they do. I probably spend about $70 or $80 a week on gas, and if I park downtown for just a few hours, it can cost me $30 or $35. Sometimes I spend more money on parking than I do on lunch, and that doesn't even include car insurance or maintenance costs.
$35 just for parking? That's almost half of what I pay for my entire monthly bus pass.
I know, it's pretty ridiculous. But for me, the convenience is still worth it. Like when I need to go grocery shopping, I can drive to the store and load everything into my trunk. How do you manage to carry groceries when you take the bus?
Well, I've gotten pretty strategic about it. I always bring my own reusable shopping bags, and I tend to shop more frequently but buy smaller amounts each time. Or sometimes I just order groceries online and have them delivered. There are so many delivery services now.
That's really smart planning. What about when the weather gets bad? I imagine waiting for the bus in the rain isn't much fun.
It's definitely not ideal, but I always carry an umbrella with me, and most bus stops have some kind of shelter or covered area. Plus, here in San Francisco, we really don't get that much heavy rain compared to other cities. It's usually just foggy and drizzly.
That's very true about the weather. What about other transportation options? Do you ever use rideshare services like Uber or Lyft?
Sometimes I do, especially late at night when buses don't run as frequently, or if I'm going somewhere that would require multiple transfers between bus lines. But rideshare prices have gotten really expensive lately.
Oh, yeah. How expensive are we talking?
A trip that used to cost maybe $15 now costs $30 or even $40 during busy times. It's gotten crazy expensive. Sometimes it costs almost as much as taking a traditional taxi.
I've definitely noticed that price increase too. Sometimes it's actually cheaper for me to drive and pay for parking. What about walking? San Francisco can be a pretty walkable city depending on where you're going.
I absolutely love walking. If I'm going somewhere within about a mile or so, I usually just walk there. It's fantastic exercise, and you really get to see and experience so much more of the city when you're walking. You notice all these little details and interesting things you'd miss if you were driving or even on the bus.
That's such a good point. I should definitely walk more often.
But I have to admit, some of these hills can be really brutal. Walking up some of the steeper streets is like doing an intense workout at the gym. But the incredible views you get at the top always make it worth the effort.
Have you ever tried riding the famous cable cars? I know they're mostly for tourists, but they are technically part of San Francisco's public transportation system.
Oh, yes, I have. It's definitely a fun experience, but they're usually packed with tourists taking photos, and they move pretty slowly. The lines can be incredibly long, especially during tourist season. I mainly ride them when I have friends or family visiting from out of town who want the full San Francisco experience.
That makes perfect sense. So, Jim, after all these years of living here without a car, do you ever think about maybe getting one?
Honestly, not really. I mean, sometimes it would definitely be convenient, especially for weekend trips outside the city to places like Napa Valley or Tahoe. But when I really think about all the costs, buying a car, monthly insurance, gas, regular maintenance, parking fees, it's just so much money. Plus, I'd have to worry about finding parking near my apartment every single day.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about the cost. I probably spend around $500 to $600 every month on car-related expenses when you add everything up.
$600? Wow, that's more than some people pay for rent in other cities.
Well, maybe not in San Francisco, but you're definitely right. It is a lot of money.
What about you, Amy? Do you ever consider giving up your car and switching to public transportation?
I've definitely thought about it, especially when I'm stuck in traffic on the Bay Bridge for an hour or when I'm driving around downtown for 30 minutes looking for parking. But I do travel for work sometimes, and I really love being able to take spontaneous weekend trips to places like wine country or the mountains. Public transportation doesn't easily reach those kinds of destinations.
That's totally understandable. For those kinds of trips, I usually rent a car for the weekend, or I go with friends who have cars. Sometimes there are organized bus tours to wine country, too.
Oh, I didn't know about the bus tours. That actually sounds like a fun way to visit wine country without worrying about driving.
You know what I think? Both ways of getting around the city have their advantages. I save money and help the environment by using public transportation, and I don't have to stress about parking or gas prices going up.
Exactly. And I have more flexibility and freedom with my car. I can leave whenever I want, I can carry lots of stuff, and I can go places that aren't well served by public transit. San Francisco is actually a great city because it offers good options for both approaches.
Absolutely right. The public transportation system here is pretty comprehensive, but if you need or want a car, you can make it work too. It really just depends on your personal lifestyle, your budget, and your priorities.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I really hope this conversation was helpful for all of our listeners who are learning English. We covered lots of useful vocabulary about transportation, everything from buses and trains to parking and rideshare services.
And remember, every city around the world is different. What works well in San Francisco might not work in your city, and that's perfectly okay. The most important thing is finding the transportation method that works best for your specific situation.
Thanks so much for listening to Native English Academy. Next week, we'll be talking about grocery shopping and cooking meals at home, another everyday topic with lots of great vocabulary. Until then, keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time.